Okay, hi all. I think it's about 1 minute to 5, so I'll just wait for that minute or 30 seconds or so before I actually start teaching. Yeah, I hope you will learn at least something. It won't be too advanced for this. It's mostly focused on maybe on beginners with team development. But I hope you all learn something here new, or just remind yourself of something you have already known before. Okay, it's 5 o'clock here, so I'll be starting. I'll be starting now with our webinar. So thank you for coming on this live show. Now I'll teach you how to create child theme to support the easy digital downloads. So who am I? If you don't know me already, I'm a WordPress developer and educator. I build premium and free plugins for WordPress, and I also work on contract for several other companies. And in today I prepared just a few slides for this. So the resources, how can we build a child theme, what are we using? I'm not sure if I build that slide, would probably not, but I'll show you, of course, and then we'll do some coding. Okay, so the resources are the theme handbook. You should be reading this whenever you are building a theme, because in my own experience I do tend to forget something, especially if I haven't done it for a long time. So I always like to go and read some to see if there's something new. Of course, the child themes are explained in their own chapter on this handbook. And then here are some articles. You don't have to write them down here. These slides will be available with the replay, so you can easily just click on them later on. And then how to build a child theme. Well, first you have to have a parent theme, right? And then you create a folder for the child theme. You add the style CSS, and that's all. Then you of course have to connect it, and you connect it by their template. And this template is actually the directory of the parent theme. You'll see when we are doing the code. And then also we should add functions PHP, so we can add additional functionality. You can add the parent style as an import rule in your CSS, but I would not recommend that because then you can actually dequeue it, unregister, replace, and even the various plugins that do the optimizing, they won't be able to get that and cache it in, right? So the parent style should just be done like this, okay? And before we do some live coding, so what are we using? Well, we are going to use the, let me just say, well, let's find their link. So the array themes are the folks that I'm using for my own site, and their theme is, let me just get to it, their theme is paperback. So this is one that I'm using on my site, and this is the one that I'll be using for creating the child theme. And of course we are using the easy digital downloads, which I guess you're already using, or you have tried to use it for selling some of your downloads. Okay, so let's get started. And the first thing to do is, here we open our themes, right? The themes folder, and then we have this paperback theme. This is the theme that the parent theme, right? And then we create a child theme, a folder. You don't have to follow this naming convention, of course. You can just name it whatever you want to. But in styles, when we are working within our styles, we need to say it we need to give it a theme name, and that will be paperback child theme. And then the template is the actual folder, and the folder is of our parent theme is paperback. So just like this, okay? And then we can go to themes, refresh it, and we see our paperback child theme, and let's activate it. Okay, I think it's activated now. So what to do now? Well, let's check our site. Let's refresh it, and of course we don't have any actual styles here. It looks ugly. And so how can we add the parent one? Well, we use the add action VP. Whoa, not in the styles. Whoa, what am I doing? Sorry about that. So in the functions, we add the add action VP and Q scripts, and let's say that our will be p child something like our own text domain, right? And then we use that function and we say VP and Q style. Our handle can be p child parent, or you can use the their own oh my god, I blocked their own handle, right? And to learn that, you can just go to their theme and just try to say to type D and Q functions. I found it. Okay, and then we can use that here and say get template directory URI and type style CSS. Save it. Let's now refresh it. Yeah, we are back. So now let's make sure that this is the one that's causing the change. Refresh it once more. Yep. So that's fine. This is working. And now we should also enqueue our own, right? So to enqueue our own style, we can just say pchild style and get style sheet URI. Okay. And now, of course, we are not sure if anything has loaded. So to be sure, let's just type display non-important. So now everything should be hidden. Yep. Okay. Let's remove that style. Okay, great. And now we can begin styling our own child theme. Okay. First I want to tackle the single page. So for the single page, well, I have some items in my cart while I was testing it. Let's just remove both of them. Okay, remove the last one. Great. And now if I refresh it, yeah. And so let's look at this page. So when I'm selling my downloads, let's say I'm doing right now, I don't want the date. This really isn't relevant to my download. I even don't want this because I have it here, and I don't want the author box, and I even don't want the comment box because that's just something that I don't need on my products. And I would like to move this here in this part. And what else? So that would be it. And also remove it from here, right? Which can be done through the options. You can remove that. I think it is inside each option of download. So you can disable the output, right? But I don't want my user to need to do that. I want it by the theme. Okay, let's remove the page. Okay, and how do we do that? Well, first we of course open here, and we can tackle each single item by using the single PHP, right? Or by using single dash, and then I think it's dash, yeah, and then the post type or something on RD or slug or whatever we want. So since we are using the downloads, let's say let's first use the paperback one. So we should copy all of it, so we retain all the HTML they do use here, and then I'll copy it here and name it single download PHP. Okay, and now nothing should happen here. Yeah, everything is the same, and now we can start removing some of the parts that we don't actually need. For example, I don't need this comment or the comment template, so this here should be removed. Also, the author box is something that I really don't need here. And since that is done, we also don't need all these comment styles. So actually we just saved some of the processing just by removing that. Okay, let's refresh it. And now, yeah, nothing is here, as you can see. That's great for starting out. And now what else do we need here? Well, maybe the content like this. So this post part is inside the content, right? So if we go where do we go? Here, right? So if we go here, we'll see several of these parts which I can actually copy, and then I can go and follow the same structure. So we have template parts, so I'll also create templates parts here, and then they have the content inside, so I'll create a new file, copy all of that and paste it here with using the same wording as they have. And why do I use that? Well, because if you go to our single download, we have the get template parts content. And now since we are on the download, I want this. Okay, so what should I do? Well, I should actually rename this our content PHP to content-download. And now if we are where are we? So content meta, I think I can remove that, and I think this will be, yeah, it's removed. Great. So with just a simple copy and pasting, we did remove some of it. Read more, yeah, we can leave that maybe, I don't care, even though most of this won't even be here. So the byline is something that I also don't need, because it's the day, the author link, I don't care about that. I really don't. But of course, that isn't something that's here. This also has to be changed. So let's see if we have, yeah, we can leave it as it is. It's not single. So this part is if it's not single. So why is this here? Not sure, but well. So if it's not single, then let's have it like that. Okay, great. So how can we now add the prices? How can we do that? How can we remove this one? Since this isn't in the single one, because we don't have any, if this isn't the single part, right? This is all the part that is run when we are on an archive page or something like that. So we need to check it out. How do they put this header? Well, that's if we follow this pattern, we have to get header. So let's see what do they have in the header PHP. And let's see. So yeah. So this is something that they've done for the Easy Digital downloads, like this one also. But actually, I don't think we are using that here. So I'm not going to use that here. I'm going to use this one, because in most times you won't have something like that. Their teams are great, so they do already support some of it, but what if you have a team that doesn't support that? So let's see how are they doing this. So let's say the content hero header. Let's see what do they have. Content hero header is this one. Okay, so we have something like that. And if it's single, right at the bottom, they say if it's a single, then use the content hero item. Okay, so actually we might not need to have anything with this. We might just need to have change something inside the content hero item. So let's go to the content hero item. And this one is probably something that we need here. So let's say, what if I remove this? The terms, let's refresh it. Yeah, the terms are gone. So we are in the right file. I will now copy the whole thing here, and we will place it, of course, in our own as a new file and say content hero item PHP. Great. So now we have that one also. And now let's see what can we do. So what do I don't need this, right? So this is something that I can remove if we are on the Easy Digital downloads. So let's say that we have a boolean that will say is Easy Digital download single, and for now it's false. But if I use the same thing that they are using already here, and I will say, okay, we actually are on the download, and then we can use that boolean to have, let's say, the hero date. We don't need one, so we say, what am I doing? Okay, and say if we aren't on the download, then display this date. Okay, let's refresh it. Okay, we don't have anything here anymore. Great. Now we are doing something here. Okay, so now we don't have anything here, but how do we add the prices? That's the thing that is actually I think an interesting part. So how can we do that? Well, we can search a bit and see that we have this Easy Digital download, which puts a form which says ADD download purchase form. Okay, so let's try to find that in the Easy Digital downloads. Okay, we have something here, and we have something in the template functions that actually outputs it. So I'll go here, scroll above a bit, and I say that see that this is an added edd get purchase link, so I'll use that. Okay, and then I will go to where am I? That's not it, right? This is our is it this ours? Yeah, and this is ours also. Great. Okay, and I don't want it in the here text. Why? Because the text is actually, where did I go? So yeah, so the text actually uses this, and I don't want this. I want this container only. I want it here. So I'll go right here like that. And then what I'm gonna do, I'll just open the PHP tags and also close them. And then I'll say if we are on the single one, let's again do this, then add something. And we are also using some classes that are our own ones, because then we can target it more specifically. And then I'll say, so I have the template functions here, copy, and I'll say echo, because this is a get function. It returns, it doesn't echo it out. Okay, purchase link, great. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we have it here. And since we have this here, I don't want this here. So how do we do that? I think it's also in the template functions or somewhere. Yeah, you see right above the function we have this. So add after download content, let's append the purchase link, and inside our own functions of the child theme, I'll just use the remove action. So let's refresh it. Yeah, we have removed that also. Great. So now we have the style this one. Since I'm not really a good, let's say, designer, I'm not good at styling that too much, but I'll try my best. Okay, so now we have our own, let's see, not that, but that, the pchild edd pricing. So now I can use our own style and say, so we are going to place that here. Okay, but first let's just style the basic stuff. So I want it to be up to, let's say, 300 pixels. I want it to be centered. I want to have a padding, and then I also want the background to be white. What else do I need? I want a border radius of 3 pixels, let's say. And let's see if we are somewhere. Okay, we have something. And I'll also add a bit of shadows, or yeah, I don't need any shadows. It's already, the image is already overlaid, so maybe we don't actually need it. And I also see that, yeah, the form has a margin here on bottom, and I don't want that. Okay, I want it to be without any of that. So let's say we have the pchild edd pricing, and then we have so edd download purchase form, edd download purchase form, and let's just say margin 0. Okay, let's refresh it. Okay, Great. And I also want this button to be, let's place this button. So their own buttons, I think, are using the button class. So we have here, yeah, the button blue edd submit. Those are the classes they are using. So I'll just say inside our own container, put the button to width 100. Great. So now if I click the purchase one, I think they also have something with, yeah, added to cart. Let's see which is this. Where is that? So I don't, this doesn't look nice, so I guess it's the edd cart ajax alert. Okay, this one, right? This one. And I'll put it in to be, let's see, the pchild edd pricing, this position static. So I don't want this to be absolute here. It will just move a bit when added, and that's it. Okay, so what else? What do we have to do? We now have to place this right here. And since the container here, so the whole container is relative, we can actually add it. But we want this to be added only when, well, let's say only, let's see when the paperback is also moving this sidebar down. I'll use that as a breakpoint. So it's good, it's good, it's good. And here we are somewhere around 800, I think. Yeah, so 801 is the breakpoint. So let's use the media screen and mean width like that. And then let's say that, so I want this cats hero text. So the hero text, let's say, let's place it like so, yeah, but of course I can't just say the hero text, because then it will target all the possible posts, right? We only want to target the downloads, so we can check the body and we see that there is a single download. Or we can, I think it's even here on the posts, so we also can have this edd download, or we can use whatever we want to make sure that we are on the download page. So let's say that we have this hero post and then the edd download and then the text, and I won't just magically use some percentages or something. I'll just use this. So I'm using what my main team is using, the parent team. So it's 70%. So I'll have it like that with 70%, like that. And then I'm using this right here, and we can check the sidebar. So the sidebar is here, it's 25%. Okay, so the sidebar is 25%. And then also I want it to be position absolute. I want to have with bottom and right 0. Okay, let's see what happens. So yeah, I actually don't like it like that, because I see that the container does have a padding. And if we look at this, the padding is 5%. So we can actually put here the 5% to the right. Let's see what happens. Yeah, great. And this is the checkout because we are on the if we check the cart, and if we check it, we see that we have it here, so we can remove it. And then if I refresh this page, yep, it's here. Great. So now we have that. It is working. And what if I put it in the cart? Great. So this isn't positioned absolutely anymore. It's now like that, which I want to be. Okay, and so now we can actually click. We can do whatever we want. So we also see that the hero cats are here, which are going above this. So we can actually, let's see, if I place the width 70%, I think then that is fine. So we'll go and do that also here. So we will go here and use the same to hero cats like that. Okay, so now we have this, and if we go to mobile view, it's like that. So everything is great in my own opinion, of course. And now let's see what about the archives. So I actually don't like it like that. I don't want it like that. So we could use something to place them 2 in a row or something like that. So let's do just that. First, of course, is the archive. So we need to actually go on the paper theme, get the archive, copy it, and now put it here and just save it. Copy that here, paste it, and then save archive and our post type, which is download. Okay, archive download. And now I don't want the title to be here, so I'll remove the title completely of the archive page. Great. Okay, so we now don't have any title, and I see here that there is one column, but they also have the grid item, and I want this. So actually I've saved some time just by looking at using their own templates. So that's really great. Now I automatically have this, which is great, and I love it. But for now, I don't really like how this is placed here. So these images, and I want them to have a fixed height, and I want these images to be centered inside that container. So let's see the content grid item. If I go to paperback and I get the content grid item is here, I can see it right there. So I will copy it, and I also place that inside the templates part. So content dash grid dash item dot php. Great. And now we can also have a check is edd, let's say, item, and first is false, and then we have their own check here which we can use like that, and then let's say is edd item true. Okay, so now we have that, and before we even go in even further, we can now inspect the image. So we have a grid thumb image, and then there is the image here. Okay, and now we actually have to target this archive. So we have in the body, we have post type archive download, and we will use that class to target what I'll just write it down. So yeah, okay, go to our style, and then here we can actually you can also do something like that. So you are single download, and then we can also have archive download. Okay, and now so the post type archive dash download. And what do we have here? We have a grid thumb image, so we can use that. And actually this is a holder, so our container can have the overflow hidden, and then let's say height 200 pixels like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, but I actually don't like it to be like that, because if we remove now this, you see it doesn't look really nicely. So what if I position this image inside of it? Absolutely, and then center it. To do that, first our container needs to have the relative, right, rule, and then we can target the image like that and say position absolute. I want the margin to be auto, right? And then let's see what happens if I put it like that and I put it like that. Refresh. Okay, so we have positioned it absolutely with just some simple CSS, right? Great. So now we are here, and actually again I don't want this part. This really it's really not something related to products, right? Okay, so how do we do that? Well, pretty simply, we go to our archive, right? Oh no, our content grid item, and then we can the grid date, we can actually remove that. So I say if is not download, then display it. Okay, let's save it. Let's refresh. Whoa, I have an error, and that's probably something in these spaces. Yeah, great. Okay, and now that could be it, but actually I don't want this to be just that. I want this, I want inside of this, I want to have a simple button that where you can actually buy it right away, or choose options if there are other options such as on this download. So how do we do that? Well, we will have to code it right here. Okay, so we have the grid text, and then since we already have this if statement, then we can say else, and with else we are targeting the downloads. And then how can we do that? Well, if we go to the purchase link right here and you scroll a bit, you see that they instantiate download, and then there can check for variable pricing right here, because if there is a variable pricing, then they will show you those options, and if there isn't, you will just have add to cart, buy now, or something like that button, and we want that here. So actually I'm gonna use this inside of here. Let's like that, this, and actually the argument here will be our own, which is get the ID. This is the ID now for current download, and then the variable pricing, well, let's just copy this and put it like that. And now we can say that if there is some variable pricing, do one thing, and if there isn't, so else, do something else. Okay, let's remove this like this. Okay, so if there isn't one, let's just echo the edd, so the edd get purchase link, and put the download ID to the current download ID, like that. I think I've done it correctly. And if we have some variable pricing, then let's echo link that will go to this one, this download, and we can do it like that, and then we can add this and say choose options or something like that, our text domain of our child theme, and like that. Okay, so if I refresh it, now I can see this is pretty nicely and this is not. So let's check to see the classes here. So the classes are button blue. Let's see, do we need all of them or do we need only some? Okay, if you see, this is actually the combination of these classes. So I'll copy them out and say here class, and just instead of the dot I'll put a space. Let's refresh it, and there you have it. So now if I click on this, I will get an Ajax one which will say added to cart, and if I go to choose options, I will check on them. Of course, since I previously added this this block to my cart, I already have it, so they do not offer me any more options like that. But if I remove it and then I go to the downloads, okay, please refresh it, great, and I say choose options, you will see that, yeah, I can choose one. Let's see, yeah, great. So that's it. And now what if I go to the taxonomy? If I go and see the webinar, oh my god, again this the same layout. So what can I do here? I can go to my archive download, copy it, and then use this, and this is the download, as you can see from classes, download underscore category, that's the taxonomy. So when working with other taxonomy archives, you will just have to use to say taxonomy dash download underscore category dot php, use it, and now we have the same style here, but we don't have the image one. As you can see, it's again the same image, so we need to see that this is a tax download category part. So in our styles we can use this, and we can do it like that and say tax the download category, and then use the same here for our image like that, and then we'll refresh it. Yeah, great. So now we have it like this. But since we are on the webinar, I actually would like this title back. So we can go to the our parent one, use the same header, go to our taxonomy and just paste it in. Of course, you can change whatever you want. Since this isn't author, because we are already sure that we are on the taxonomy one, we can just use this like that, save, refresh, and we have it. Download category is webinar, so we are now sure that we are on the webinars. And that's all. So yeah, that was all of it. It's about 50 minutes to 6, so I guess I haven't wasted too much of your time. I hope I didn't, and I hope you have learned something. Of course, there is a lot more to work on here, and before I close this webinar, I want also to show you another thing which you can use to enhance your page, and that is actually one of my plugins. So if I go to plugins, I already installed it, and it's called EDD Tab Manager. So you can use the tabs. So let's activate it, and you can create the tabs as well as any other posts, right? So you have the EDD tabs here. You can add them. I've just added them to the technical details and recommended. And then if I go to my download here, and let's just load it. Okay, great. And if I go here, and at the bottom you will have both the recommended and the technical details. Oh, the page has not loaded yet, but I think I already inserted some of the content before. Yeah, so we have this and technical details, so we can actually add content as you want, whatever you want here. And then on the Gutenberg page, on my own Gutenberg course page, if I refresh it, I'll get the tabs here. You can easily change that with CSS, the look of them, but as you can see, both tabs are here, so you can actually style your download pages much better with more content that is not necessary for them to read, but it is there for them if they want to. Okay, and so this, if you are interested in these tabs, just go to EDD Tab Manager plugin. Let me just show you right away. So this is it, the EDD Tab Manager, and you can just install it and use it right away. And then what else? Of course, let me close now our webinar, and I want to close it with another one of my stuffs. I'm sorry about that. If you don't want to hear it, just leave it. So I have a course which is become a WordPress developer, which covers a lot more than just the child theme. I'm creating 2 themes and 3 plugins, one simple, one complex theme, and one simple plugin, and 2 complex one. Or you actually want, if you don't want that, you can become a member on my own site, where you will get some premium content, unlimited replays of any webinar. Maybe some of them you haven't attended yet, so it might be useful to you. And you'll also be available to download the code of my tutorials. And the last thing, if you're interested in more easy digital downloads, let's say programming, how to extend this plugin, how to add more content to it, then there is a book, EDD for Developers, on Limpub, which you can buy and read to learn more. So that was all, and I can wait. If you have any questions, post them right away in the chat, and if not, I will finish this webinar. So thank you very much for attending it. It means a lot to me that so much people are watching me and learning from my content, because that keeps me going. So anyone, if you have any questions or anything, just type in the live chat. And also, while I'm waiting, if you have any other ideas for webinars, just send them through to my site on abandoned.com. Go there on the contact form, fill it out, and say what you would like to see in the next webinar. Because I don't have a set schedule of what I'm going to teach in each webinar, and I'm just getting to ideas whenever I can. But just a hint, the next webinar could be something with React and with the WP scripts, React scripts from the Human-Made company. It might be, it's not set as concrete block there. It might be, but it might be not. So yeah. Any questions? Well, I guess not. So I'll close this webinar. Thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure teaching you. And as I said, if you have any ideas for webinar or even questions after watching this replay, be sure to contact me through my contact form, and I'll tend to answer you as soon as I'm available. So happy coding to you all. Bye.